Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are sort of going to preview what's going to happen at Warhammer Fest. So this year I'll be attending on Sunday to Warhammer Fest at the Rico Arena in Coventry, and I'm going to be heading up there with a couple of gaming buddies of mine who I regularly, well semi-regularly play games against. These are sort of my closer knit local wargaming buddies, so there's a bunch of us going up. In fact there are 5 of us in total. 3 of us are going just for the Sunday and 2 are heading up a little bit earlier and going to Warhammer World on the Saturday, staying overnight and then heading down to meet us in Coventry. Very excited. Last year was very, very good. Really enjoyed last year's event. Lots of seminars, lots of, seeing Duncan in the flesh doing his Warhammer TV stuff. They've got, plenty of new staff have been hired over the last year or so within Warhammer TV and the Army Painting Studio. There's a few people that I follow on Instagram and stuff, like Amy Snuggs. She's now part of the studio team, which is good because she basically appears in White Dwarf every month anyway, so she might as well work for them. Well done to her. So yeah, I just want to sort of run through what we may expect, looking at the timetables for Saturday and Sunday, and just some general thoughts really. So let's get straight into the video. So this is Saturday's schedule. Unfortunately, I can't make the whole weekend, so I'm only having to pick and choose, and I have decided to go on the Sunday, primarily because that's when Golden Demon happens. So all the best models that are put into that competition are going to be there, and we get to go and have a look at those. So super excited for that. But as you can see from Saturday then, vaguely similar stuff that goes across Saturday and Sunday. There's a couple of differences with authors and who's available and that kind of thing, but you can see here in general that you've got a whole bunch of seminar rooms which you normally have to get a ticket for when you're in the queue to get in, and then you have these demo pods, which includes Warhammer TV with their own demo pod this year. I don't think they had that last year. They sort of they were doing demonstrations, but I don't think they had a whole pod for a whole day. They kind of mixed and matched. But yeah, there's going to be some good stuff going on there. I'm missing out on painting an Imperial Knight, but personally I think I've got that nailed. So let's take a look at Sunday's schedule then, because that's going to be the day I'm going to be there. So Seminar Room 1, we have Writing for Black Library, we have video games releases, new and upcoming audio dramas, and then How Do You Become a Citadel Miniatures Designer. In Seminar Room 2, the Specialist Studio, so basically the Forge World guys talking about their future products with a Q&A. Forge World Future Products Q&A, Specialist Studio Future Products again, so there's a couple of repeats here. And then finally the Middle-earth Future Products and Q&A. Anything from Forge World proves super popular, so I can see why they're repeating some of their stuff here to give everyone a good chance to get in there and give Tony Cottrell a good kicking. And hopefully he doesn't make any faux pas this time like he did at the Forge World Open Day. Seminar Room 3 then, we have designing the Ideneth Deepkin. Not overly excited about those. I mean, Space Sharks, yeah, whatever. Then there's a Q&A with the Hobby Product team. The Warhammer Design Studio Rules Writing Seminar, so Robin and Sam are running that. That'll be quite interesting, I think. Just to see what their take is on it, because the internet thinks they can write the perfect rules. These guys are the ones that are actually responsible for doing it for sale. There's the opportunity to get some autographs from your favourite Black Library authors. Chris Dowers, David Geimer, Gav Thorpe, John French are going to be about on the Sunday. Then we have the demo pods. Demo pods are very, very cool because it means you get up close and personal and get to see how people do things in the real world. Certainly for Games Workshop's perspective anyway. So there's a whole thing on Tacticae Titanicus, which is an introduction to Adeptus Titanicus. Now, this was talked about last year, and I'm surprised it's not out yet. I'm very, very excited for a re-release of Titanicus. I can't wait to get my hands on that and start playing massive Titan battles on a slightly more affordable scale compared to the Warlords and Warhounds of current Forge World releases. An interesting bit on painting skin tones. Then we have painting a character series. There's painting an Imperial Knight Part 2. Part 1 is on the Saturday, so I don't know. I guess he's going to do the... I don't even want to guess, to be honest. I guess he would do the exoskeleton and then all the armour plates in Part 2. Who knows? Then we have some behind-the-scenes stuff with Middle-earth, so looking at still going on with Frodo Baggins, even though that film is a million years old now. Then we have Creating a Scene, which is terrain construction with Ian Patton. Now that's going to be, I think that's going to be quite interesting. I'm wondering whether they're going to go back to, making your own terrain out of garbage like we used to do, or whether this is, using all the 40k kits and trying to make something super cool. I'd imagine it's the latter, as that seems to be the recent direction. Demonstration Pod 3 then is Warhammer TV all day, so I'm expecting to see Duncan, Peachy, Kerry and John and all the crew from Warhammer TV. I suspect they'll be floating around doing interviews and that kind of stuff. Probably some live Warhammer TV painting sessions. That's what they did last year, as Duncan was painting some stuff. Peachy's obviously joined that crew this year, so I expect to see him floating around as well. This is kind of the face of Warhammer community at the moment, right? Warhammer TV is there into the community, and they are doing great things in my opinion. So it'd be good to go and see those guys in the flesh and see if we can say hello. Finally, Demonstration Pod 4 then. We've got some conversion stuff and then creating themed armies, focusing on Black Templars. I had a conversation with my buddy David, who I'm going to talk about in a second, and his podcast. His primary Space Marine force is actually Black Templars, and how do you create a themed Black Templar army? We discussed it, and we think all you do is you spray them black and add chains, and then you add some more chains, and then you have a themed Black Templars army. So we've kind of nailed that session in about 5 seconds rather than an hour. Now, we can't attend every single session because there's lots of overlaps, but for me, I'm looking to attend at least one of the Specialist Studio Future Products Q&A with the Forge World guys, the Titanicus one as well, so perhaps there's an overlap in there, so could be Titanicus at 11 o'clock, Specialist Studio at 1, probably the Forge World Future Products at 12 as well, but trying to squeeze in some lunch at some point might be interesting, and then just float around after that and see what else is going on. So there's certainly 3 of those sessions that I really want to attend, so hopefully I'll get my tickets sorted for that first thing in the morning and get to attend those. As usual then, there are some pre-release models available exclusively at the fest for the first time. The first one then is Joseph Bugman, so he's been around as a named character in the Warhammer universe forever, and now we can get hold of him as a Blood Bowl coach and star player. There's an image on the screen here showing you how cool he looks in one of his various incarnations. There's also some new merch as well for the first time that I've seen these come up. So there's a brand new coffee mug or water mixing mug, whichever you want to use it for. And more excitingly is some stuff for the Alpha Legion. One of the really cool things that I've seen is this brand new t-shirt. I am Alfarius, or one of his dodgy lookalikes perhaps. A really cool looking t-shirt with the multi-headed Hydra on top there, as is the symbol for the Alpha Legion. That's really cool, but not quite as cool as the model that's been floating around for about a month now on various social media, and that is the Alfarius character model from the character series for Warhammer 30k for the Heresy era. Although he would fit perfectly well in a 40k surrounding. Here he is stabbing a Space Dwarf in the back. A very cool looking model. 2 of the guys that I'm travelling up with on the Sunday, that's Rich and Dave, have also recently started a podcast, the Floorhammer Podcast, a light take on the grimdark. I featured on a battle report that they reported on their 2nd ever episode. So I want to sort of direct your attention over to these guys. They've got a Facebook group, obviously the podcast that you can go and search for, as well as a website, which will sort of link in. So if you're listening to the podcast and you want to see some of the images and so on, then you can head over to their website as well. And they've got some good little tips. They're a brand new podcast. They're 3 episodes in. I think they're recording their 4th this week. I'm hoping to potentially appear on one of these in the very near future, maybe even post Warhammer Fest, discussing my thoughts and opinions on it. So want to give a good shout out to these guys. They're a good listen. The podcasts are about an hour, just over an hour each, focusing on sort of new releases, their recent battles, their own hobby progress, all that good kind of stuff that everyone likes to listen to. So why don't you go and check those guys out. There we go then, guys. This Sunday we hit Warhammer Fest. Very, very excited. If any of you are going, drop a note in the comment section. Maybe we can say hello while we're up there in the bar over a drink or 2 and discuss general nerdiness. That would be cool. But until then, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.